Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, my Level Up family. So I am so excited. I just came back from my company conference and my heart is unbelievably on fire. And you know what? It's just the best time to be doing a recording and recording a podcast and spending some time with you guys. I just love human connection. I love brainstorming. I love learning. We're always students. And so most of you know my story. And if you don't know my story, I have been an entrepreneur now for 17 years, and I jumped into a business and into an industry that I knew very little about. I never sold a thing in my life, but here's the thing. I also started my business in 2006. And in 2008, a recession hit. But what happened is, like, we grew every single year at that point with double digits, because again, it's sort of a mindset. And people ask me all the time, how is your doing during a recession? And you want to know what my reply was? My reply was that I've decided not to participate in the recession. We are thriving. So I was willing to learn. I was willing to go all in. I was willing to fail to succeed. I was willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to build my business and create my future and create my success. And with that came incredible accolades, right? So as you grow to whatever level you're striving for, whether it's promotions or success or income and earnings and trips and growth. But during that time, to the top of anything, there's always going to be valleys and lessons and setbacks and seasons. So from the outside, most of these things were invisible, because instead of pulling back, I was always leaning in, working when others were distracted, scheduling when others take their eye off the ball. And the entire world, right? So now let's bring it to the present tense. The entire world and most industries took a bit of a hit after 2020. But here's the gift. There are so many lessons in the valley. And I've been saying this for years. When you're in the valley, you have a choice. You can grow resentment, or you can grow resilience, right? It's how you handle those moments in the valleys, in the dips. It all comes down to our choice, but it is time to emerge. I don't know where you are in your leveling up journey and on your next, level to success, but I'm calling on you to emerge. It's time to expand. It's time to grow, right? So our keynote trainer and a really good friend of mine just talked about, took the valleys and kind of put it into seasons, like going from your winter to your summer. Like, we were made for winter. You were all made for winter. And winter is that time where maybe it's cold or it's dreary. Maybe you love the winter in the seasons, right? But I don't really love the winter. There's some positive things about it. Just like in business, there's positive things about it. So in the seasons, I do love sometimes that it gets darker earlier, and we could get in our pajamas earlier and the day winds down, and it's just a more maybe family time and making soup and decorating for the holidays, right? So there's always pluses to every winter. And you look at it in the business world, the winter builds us, right? So in this podcast, I'm not talking about the winter season. I'm talking about the winter seasons in your business. So here's the thing. It's time to move on. It is time to grow to spring and summer. It's time to get out of your winter coat. It's time to bake in the sun. The people who work now, the people who build now will be the ones who reap the huge benefits. So when winter hits, the future millionaires are preparing for harvest. They build, they lean in, they find a need and they fill it. They find a way to serve. The most amount of millionaires are born in a recession. People are either paralyzed or they're propelled, but we get to decide, and it is go time. So today we're going to go over 10 tips to grow yourself from winter to summer. And you can look at it as 10 tips to go from surviving to thriving, but really leveling up, taking everything up a notch, and really taking ownership ownership for your success and your results. So number one, rewrite the narrative in your head. So what are the stories you're telling yourself? Are you telling yourself you're in a dip? Get out. Are you telling yourself it's hard? Because rewrite the story. Because the one thing that we have 100% control over is our thoughts. We create our thoughts. And if you keep telling yourself it's hard, if you keep focusing on the past few years, your winter will continue. You will stay in winter, but others are growing. Others are crushing it. And they aren't better than you. They chose their thoughts better than you. We know this. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. So the only limits we have are the limits that we create in our own mind. So it's about breaking the limits. It's about creating new thoughts, declare affirmations, speak life over your vision and over your success. Fuel your mind with abundance and vision and possibility and belief. Rewrite the stories that are keeping you and your business and your team and your future in your winter season. It's spring and summer for so many. So we want to get a move on. Okay. Number two, gosh, outwork everyone. Outwork everyone. Action breeds and builds confidence. It's time to get to work. I love when people say, I'm not where I was. Well, are you doing what you did? I'm not getting the results that I did a few years ago. Are you doing what you did? Do you have the same passion? Does your calendar look the same? Do you have the same work ethic? Are you on a mission? Treat your business like it's a job. That's how you build a business. Schedule your hours. Take steps every day. Make more phone calls. Have more conversations. Pack your calendar. Get your business and your products in front of more people. So often we look at others who are like lighting it up and wondering why what they have that you don't have. Guess what? They have a packed calendar. They have a decided heart. They have a bold ask. They have influence. Action builds all of that. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen when you work consistently. Okay. Number three, stay committed. My gosh, my friends, it's like real success and growing and leading, especially if you're into leadership. And leadership, really, no matter what you do for a profession, leadership is so huge. You're leading the ship. So you're staying committed through distractions. Stay committed through hard times. Stay committed through happy times. And that could be marriages or graduations or vacations. Stay committed, you guys. And I'm saying this with so much love. Nobody wants to follow anybody that's like squirrel. Oh gosh, I'm doing this or I'm off doing that. And I'm just going to put things on hold. Like, that's fine if you're okay with those choices. But please don't wonder why when you're back and you're all in, you're like, what happened to the people doing this with me? Once you lose trust, once you're like checked out, you've got to work double time to rebuild that trust. People follow commitment. When you're in and out based on your emotions, you do lose people, you lose trust, you lose influence. And I hear people tell me all the time, like, I'm here if you need me. Like, I'm not working. I'm just like here if you need me. And I'm saying this, I'm like, no. You're MIA and people feel it. Leading your team and your business into a summer season takes being at the helm, casting the vision, doing the do, bringing the energy, being the example, speaking life and speaking vision over your business and over every single person around you. Leaders and leadership is leading the ship. Okay. Number four, separate yourself from the rest. When we're in a winter season, it's so easy to be like, wow, everybody around me is in a winter coat. Everybody around me is here. Oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. So people in a winter season, they collect data. They compare stories. They look for other people. Oh my gosh, they're in a winter. They're not growing. They're not thriving. They justify, they feel better. Remove yourself from the whining patch. Like, is that really, really serving you? Do more, be more, believe more, and actually see this as an opportunity. If there's so many people hanging out in winter, and maybe some of those people were running at one point and they're not, I'm sorry to say this, I want everybody to win, but when you take your eye off the ball, you just made more room for me to expand. So see this as a gift. See this as an opportunity. This is when true capitalists capitalize. It's about timing. Most think that it's like during the good times, but the real leaders emerge during the winters. That's when you know the people who have grit, they have resilience, they have commitment, because it's so easy to be committed to whatever it is you're doing in the summer, in the hype, in the growth. But during the winter seasons is when you know, do you really love what you do? Are you really committed to what you do? Or do you work it like on convenience, right? This is when you develop that grit. So surround yourself with the doers, surround yourself with leaders of excellence, surround yourself with people who are leveling up their life, and also people that are going to call on your nonsense. You cannot soar like an eagle hanging out with pigeons. Number 5, only speak of what you want. Erase what is. Take ownership for where you are. You are where you are because you've decided to be there. And you know what? You might be in a good place, but I want you to know that you could be in a better place. We're always here to expand. We're always here to grow. So speak of your vision, speak of your goals, speak of what you love, speak of what you're creating. Completely let go of speaking about your reality, unless you're in love with your current reality, because your words are creating your reality. Change your narrative, change your thoughts. That is how you change your season. Number 6, focus on gratitude. I don't even know if there's many podcasts I've done where we haven't touched on the word gratitude, because here's the thing about gratitude. It cures everything. What are you grateful for in your current business? What do you love? What helped you create where you are today? Who is in your business? What do they bring to the table that you're so proud of and grateful for? What are you grateful for in your life? When we live in a state of gratitude, we attract more things to make us grateful. Gratitude and love go hand in hand. And we know that love is the highest frequency. Love is our superpower. So love and gratitude bridges us and like creates those fast lanes to the summer seasons. Number 7, create a vision that's bigger than your sight. Your vision is your superpower. Most see with their eyes. They rely on their sight. Sight sees current seasons. They see current sales, current circumstances, current obstacles, current setbacks. Vision is your imagination. Your brain doesn't know the difference. Whether you're focusing on your sight or your vision, your brain sees what you focus on. Your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So, however, it does attract to you what you see in your mind. So are you seeing your reality or are you seeing your vision? Do you see your shining moment? Do you see your abundance and your incredible, insane success? Are you showing up every day like the leader who is living out their vision? Or are you showing up every single day as your current reality? Number 8, devour personal growth. Now here's the thing. You guys are listening to a podcast. You're listening to a Level Up podcast. So you know the value of personal development. Your success will be as big as your level of personal development and your growth. Most think you do a lot like in your high moments. So like we're high, we're growing, we're thriving, personal growth, books. It's a faster way to the next season to be doing it when you're not always in your highs. We read more in the winters. We listen more in the winters. Feed your mind and your heart with so much good that you are certain beyond any doubt that you are ready for summer and heading into summer. Personal development prepares you for the great and the awesome in your business and in your success. Number 9, choose excellence over surviving. Gosh, so what does that mean? So if you're in a business that you could earn bonuses or, direct personal business, packing your calendar, earning awards, earning trips, building your name, you represent a team. Build the level of excellence for them. Set the expectations high. You're setting the bar. When we remain where we are, we're putting a lid on our team and our success. This isn't about you. Leadership is influence. And as we raise our bar, we raise our influence, we raise our standards, we raise the efficiency of our organization and business. And in order to grow from winter to summer, it takes shedding our belief that average is okay and that good is good enough. You don't grow that way. You don't thrive that way. Be excellent. Expect more of yourself. In fact, demand more of yourself. That is the only way to expect more of others. Remember, your team will do what you are doing or less. Number 10, and here's probably the most important one. Decide right now that your winter's over. It's actually that simple. It starts with an absolute decision, a decided heart, matched with action, matched with enthusiasm, commitment to excellence, long-term stamina, discipline, and heart. To go from surviving to thriving, it does take a bold decision that, you know what, I'm not okay with where I am right now. It's unacceptable. I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to take ownership. I'm going to get myself in a different lane. I'm going to separate myself from the whiners and the complainers and the people that are collecting evidence that we are justified to be here. Many of the most successful businesses were born in a winter season. Many of today's best known companies were founded in the Great Recession of 2009, including Airbnb and Uber. So if you look at companies like Microsoft, it was founded in 1975, which was the same year as the oil embargo recession. General Motors started in 1908 during an economic recession. Hewlett-Packard started during the recession of 1938. The first Hyatt Hotel opened in 1957 during the 1957 to 1958 recession. Trader Joe's, which is one of my favorite stores, started during a recession. Okay, the family that owns Trader Joe's is worth $53.5 billion. They have over 500 stores. The mobile payment Square app came during a great recession. Groupon came out in 2008, recession. So here's my point. The summer is coming for many. Are you looking for a good story or are you looking for a good excuse? Because your season is your choice. Commit to being the difference you wish to see in your business and your success. Be willing to walk alone, set the pace, be the bar, break your limitations, get on the field, push yourself to be more. And, I've gone through 3 major winter seasons on my journey as an entrepreneur in 17 years. And with each one I've grown, I saw the writing on the walls, I got to work, and all of a sudden the masses got diluted and the road to success wasn't so crowded. My blinders were on. I was okay separating myself. I was okay walking alone. I was okay not being besties with the whiners. I refused to talk about the winter. I breathed vision into myself and others. I saw only the bloom. I saw only the sun. Sometimes it felt like I was riding a bicycle in mud, but I kept pedaling. I never stopped. I wanted to be the 0.0001% of the 1%. And that requires focus. It requires discipline. It requires a winner's mindset, building mental toughness and moving when others stop, looking ahead when others are looking around. My friends, people quit in the winters. People around you may quit. Keep going. Remember your why. Dream without limits. Be bold. Be courageous. Be the one who stays true to their word. Summer is here. The world is moving on. People are thriving, and you have dreams to build. You have lives to change. So what's your story? How is your year ending? The only one who is moving you from winter to summer is you. You are the secret. Your mind, your heart, your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, your discipline, you. And deep down, you know that you're ready. It's officially summer. I love you, my friends.
Is that not motivating? That's the 3rd time I've listened to it and I get goosebumps. And anybody else, does that light a fire under you? All right. So I'm going to just ask some questions. Take yourselves off mute if you can, and feel free to jump in. which one of those points, let me read them really quickly. Which one of those points really caught you when you heard it? Number one was rewrite the story in your head. Number two was outwork everyone. Number three was stay committed. Number four was separate yourself from the rest. Number five, only speak of what you want. 6, focus on gratitude. 7, create a vision that's bigger than your sight. 8, devour personal growth. 9, choose excellence over surviving. And then 10 was decide right now that your winter is over. Let me hear from somebody. Which one resonated with you the most?
Well, on number 2, which was outwork everyone, she also talked about scheduling your hours. And that's sort of a challenge when you're so I was thinking like, you know what, if I really just scheduled, that would really make a difference for me. And then during those, she talked about, distractions, but distractions can be negative things, but they can also be really good things going on in our life. Like just, good things happening in your family that can distract you. But if you have that scheduled, I think, anyway, that's something that kind of has always been something I struggle with and think would really make a difference.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And that's such a good point, Allison, is when we schedule it, it's going to happen. And it doesn't take away from if we don't have it scheduled, when the good things happen, we're like, oh, I got to do the good things. The good things are here. But if we have it scheduled, we get to enjoy it all and it all gets to fit in. So excellent point. Who else? What resonated most with you? Sandy Thompson.
I will say, decide my winter is over, number 10. I've been through a lot of seasons in my recent years, taking care of parents, losing parents, retiring, new grandchildren, the good and the bad. And, I think we have blamed COVID long enough. So I'm leaving COVID behind. I'm not going to blame it again. Blame COVID on anything. It's my responsibility. Take ownership, remembering that big businesses were started during recessions was awesome for me. Look for good choices. I've been saying for years, everything is about the choices that we make. Set the pace. Sometimes we have to work alone. There's nobody with us. We've all talked on this team that our partners and our team is falling behind, or they have life choices happening right now. So sometimes we have to walk alone, and that's okay. See only the bloom. I thought that was amazing. I love flowers, and flowers always remind me of summer and spring and happy times. So get out of the mud and let's focus on the blooms. Dream without limits. How many of us have forgotten how to dream? We can still dream. And here's one: you have lives to change. And I think when we remember that, there's nowhere else to go.
Great. I love those points. There are people that only we can connect with. So it's up to us. Who else? Give me your top one. What was the one that resonated with you? Cynthia.
So I thought the one on stay committed was very, very key and essential, because when we're committed to something, of course, we're eager to stay with it. But I thought what she said, people follow the commitment. And that's really the key. They follow what we do. So if we're committed to it, then yes, they will follow. It's that statement, if you feed them, they will stay. So if we have something that they're interested in, then we're committed to it. Then I've noticed that people will continue with it.
And that is a really powerful point, Cynthia. People cannot follow people that are here one minute and gone the next. If we're showing up, we're engaged, and then we disappear for a while, and then we try to get engaged again, and we wonder where's our team? Why are they not following us? You can't follow somebody who's this, here, there. You can't follow that. And as leaders, kind of, I love that where she said, leaders lead the ship. If the captain's hanging over the side, up on, up the flagpole, over here, over there, and the ship's going like this, you're not going to have very many crewmen following that. It's too hard to follow that. Ooh, that right there, that was excellent, Cynthia. Great point. We have got to stay focused and committed if we ever want a team to follow us. Who else? Susan.
I like number 5, only speak of what you want. Speak of goals and visions, don't speak about reality, because it's really easy to go over where you are, and that takes so much of your time, and it wastes time, honestly. So speak of what you want.
I love that, because we may not be where we want to be. Probably none of us are where we want to be. And if we just focus on that, then we're missing out, because when we're talking about where we want to be, that's way more attractive to people.
Yeah.
Good point. Who else?
Well, one thing I thought was so important is, how do you want your story to end? And I think sometimes we're working, but we don't think about, what is my legacy? How do I want my story to end?
Good point. Have you even thought about that? What's your end game? I have conversations every day to God about what I think my end game is with this Juice Plus business. And, I keep saying, God, you've given me the desire. I want 5 national marketing director lines and 10 POB lines. That I'm a ways from that, but that's kind of the vision that I have and where I want to go. So if you haven't, back to Linda's point, if you haven't thought about where you see yourself, then do that today. Do that today. Who else? All right, I know Erin's has laryngitis. So she says, I love number 1. What is the story I'm telling myself? What is the story that I want? I need to change my story. And that one, I have to be honest, I would agree with you, Erin. That was probably the one that I've allowed, kind of back to Sandy's point about, right now I'm in a really tough season with my mom. And Linda, I know you're the same with your aunt, that I think I'm telling myself, because of this season, I'm an all or nothing kind of person. I want all in. And it's hard when you've got a major thing like that is taking priority, and it needs to take priority, but it doesn't mean I don't need to be telling myself that my business has to come to a halt in this season. And we allow ourselves to believe lies that, that I need to rewrite that script that's going on in my head. What's the script going on in your head, Erin? That was my script. I mean, I know you can't talk, so type it out if you want. So maybe ask each of ourselves, what are we telling ourselves that really, if we were honest, is an excuse? It's a good, I'm sure we all have great excuse. Erin is that I'm tired and I can just coast. Yeah, I get it. And I catch myself, especially right now with this season I'm in with my mom, is saying that I'm tired. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night. I was wore out. I get it. But I think part of it is what's in my head. And if I'm telling myself I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I emotionally then I'm going to believe that and I'm going to live that out. Are there things I need to change so that I truly do have the energy I need to do all that I want to do? Which is something I need to take inventory. Jelaine.
So with what you're saying about, the season with your mom and all these different things, all those seasons are really difficult. And but I'm just gonna say this because I've traveled through that with my mom and my dad and my husband, and sometimes three at the same time. But let me share this verse with you and then let you meditate on it and resonate how it will in your life. Okay. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 16 through 18, and each one of you can meditate on it and see how it works out in your life. But it says, for which cause we faint not. But though our outward man perish, yet our inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction. No, I have a real hard time with for our light affliction. All right. Because some of these afflictions are really hard. They don't appear to be light, but God says they are, which is but for a moment. All right, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So when you're in that season, in whatever season that you're in, just remember, I did a talk yesterday, I believe it was, to a bunch of ladies about the sands of time. And so in our life, I don't have it in front of me, but those time things where the sands turn, our sands are ever flowing. So just remember, wherever you are right now, your sands are not going to stay right where they are because they're flowing. And remember that what you see right now is not what is going to be your future. It's temporal. So everything else is eternal. So look not which the things which you can see, but the things which you cannot see, for those things are temporal. Wherever you may be, whatever season you might be in, whatever mountaintop you're on, climb higher, whatever, hard times that you have, just keep hanging on and don't look at them. And remember that wherever you are, you can be used. When we were in the nursing home with my mom, ALF with my mom, we created an entire tower garden and got all the residents gardening because I was there anyway. So why not, and we changed the course of the whole entire dining room and all the food that got put out. When we're in Tampa General with my husband, we talk to all the doctors. We talk to all of the nurse practitioners. We try to tell them about nutrition because they don't know a thing about it. So wherever you are, use your voice. You're there because God put you there. And remember that He's using you right where you are.
Excellent, Jelaine. That's good. And as a matter of fact, I took my mom over to the rehab side and I got a customer yesterday. So you're right. Great reminder of how we need to look at it. Anybody else? What other points? Anybody want to share their top point, what resonated with them before we close it out here?
Well, for me, can you hear me? What she said about gratitude, instantly, I'm always in tears because I really do think, I love what she said, it cures everything. And I think just being grateful for it, focusing on the good things, focusing on what we have to be grateful for me personally, changes everything.
Great. Always gratitude, always. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Here's what I want you to do. Right now, everyone on your team or people you want to be on your team, use this call to reach out to people this week. How many people can you send this to that possibly, let's just say you got partners who maybe have kind of died on the vine because of one of these top 10 things that she talks about, that we simply by reaching out to them, we can pull them back in. And kind of back to what Jelaine was saying, instead of allowing the tough times we're going through to slow us down, utilizing where those tough times have placed us to be able to build and grow further. And back to your point, Jelaine, there's a reason where we are, and it's a season, but we can't allow that to stop what I believe God's called us to do. He brought this business to us because he knew only we could connect with certain people that we know. So challenge, if you've got team, make sure everyone on your team gets this with a strong urgency from you to listen to it. For ourselves, hang on to your notes and let's catch ourselves allowing these 10 things that maybe are stopping us, and let's crush them, get rid of them, and turn this into utilizing this to spur us forward as we go into the fall conference. You guys, thank you to those of you who are active with our Crown Jewel Challenge. We're today, Linda, Brenda, and I are going to sit down and we're going to create some wheels. And on those wheels are going to be names of people, even if maybe you say, I haven't connected. I think we're up to 23 days now. Maybe you haven't connected 23 people, but maybe you've done 10. Edie, I'm going to call you out. Edie said, I've connected with 11. Well, I'm going to make sure if people who are responding to those Crown Jewel challenges, that their name goes on the wheel. The more connections you've made, the more times your name will go on the wheel. If you've got customers, it'll go on the customer wheel. If you've got partners, on the partner wheel. We want to see some winners. And so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you've either recorded it on Voxer if you're not on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, make sure you go and record on our Crown Me post exactly your connections, your customers, and your partners because of those connections. So get that done, get your team, make sure they're putting their information on there so that anybody and everyone who is a part of this challenge is on the wheel and have the opportunity to spin. Because you know what? It's fun to get money. And we want to move towards Charlotte strong with new customers and new partners. So any other thoughts or comments before we call today? All right, guys, thanks for being on the call. Send this message. I'll get it posted on YouTube shortly and send it out to your team. And let's get some people listening to this fantastic podcast, as well as y'all's great responses afterwards. So thanks for being on the call, everyone.